All right, guys, so here we are in the 49ers-Rams game. This is from week 12 of last season. And this is just a illustration of how Robert Saleh coaches this defense. So Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, now the head coach of the New York Jets. And this is an example, less schematic-wise, more philosophy-wise, of how he likes to coach his defense and what he teaches them. One thing that he likes to emphasize is rallying to the football, right? Rallying to the football, not a foreign concept to someone who's played the game or coached the game before, but essentially it's all 11 guys swarming to the football to create takeaways and create sure tackles. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this clip just play through here. So Jared Goff drops back and has a little check down, right? 49ers are getting good pressure. Mentioned in the article, they run a wide 9. Right, so their defensive line gets pressure, checks it down to the running back. All right, and here's what happens, right? He gets tackled and he fumbles, and who recovers it but a defensive lineman, right? Rallying to the football is more than just, ensuring you have the tackle. Rallying to the football is fundamental to the game of football and also to, having a certain mentality as a defense, right? That everyone's there, right? So that when you create takeaways like this, that your defensive end, who was just up the field trying to sack the quarterback, is there to jump on the football. Right? That's fundamental football. You see Robert Saleh get pumped up on the sidelines all the time and scream for his guys, and that's how he teaches them. All right, so this is a couple drives later. Right, and I'm going to focus on personnel mostly for this one. So in this specific play, we have a pretty traditional look, right? A 4-3, 2 outside corners, 2 safeties, right, and 3 linebackers in the middle here, right? A 4-3 look. I'm going to focus on personnel. I'm going to focus on this guy right here. This is Marcel Harris, number 36. He is 6 feet tall, and he is 210 pounds. Right? He's playing the will linebacker. And what's unique about Robert Saleh's defense, personnel-wise, is that he likes these linebacker-safety hybrids, what a lot of people call tweeners. Right? And they call them tweeners because they're a hybrid, like I said. They're in between a safety and a linebacker. Right? They have coverage ability, so they can play linebacker like a safety, but they also have run support ability, right? He's a bigger guy, more muscular guy who can come up and make a play in the run game. And that's what he does here, right? This is illustrating how these hybrids can help you in the run game and also so you don't have to substitute personnel when they come out in a different look. This is a 2 tight end look, right? So this is where maybe some defensive coordinators would sub in a bigger linebacker, right? And Robert Saleh doesn't have to do that because, as you can see, Marcel Harris can come up and make a play in the run game, and also can drop back and be a great coverage guy. Here he is, right, and tracks the football really, really well and makes a play, right? Not afraid to stick his nose in there and make a play, just like a linebacker. All right, so we're at another play in the 49ers and Rams game, and this is a 3rd and 3. This is where I'm highlighting kind of the wide 9 technique that I spoke about. So wide 9, meaning these defensive ends are lined up on no offensive linemen, right? They're a wide 9 technique, meaning if there was a tight end here, they'd be outside of that tight end even. And your defensive tackles are lined up almost on the offensive tackles here. It's 3rd and 3. There is an empty formation. So you got 4 receivers and 1 receiver split outside. This is the running back. So the defensive line knows that it's going to be a pass play, and they're pinning their ears back and getting ready to pass rush, right? This is going to highlight sort of how the 49ers defense and Rob Saleh's defense traditionally has relied on pass rush to get home or to at least collapse the pocket and bail out some of their secondary sometimes. So this is going to be man-to-man coverage. We're just going to watch how this defensive line gets after the quarterback here. Pocket collapses. Goff has to roll. He's not great on the run. Look at down here, right? That's Saleh right there. He's getting pumped up. He's like one of the players. I'll watch it again here from another angle. Again, you're reliant on speed rushers on the outside and your tackles here on the inside. Jared Goff, he's not taking off and getting the 3 yards in the middle of the field. Right, couple bull rushes, couple good moves on the outside, and they get home, cause the hurry, and these coaches over here, they're pumped up. Rob Saleh's flexing on the sideline. That's what comes out when he has a great defensive play, is that he is passionate, right? He's just like one of the players, just as pumped up as his defensive line is to get that sack. All right, so another showcase here for our wide 9 and also some interior pass rush here, okay? This is the first play of the second half of this game, right? Jared Goff has been getting chased around all day. Not sure if the 49ers have even recorded a sack yet, but that's not the important part, right? Sacks are great. Loss of yards is great. Turnovers are great. But Jared Goff feeling that pressure and consciously in his head knowing that defensive ends are coming screaming off the edge, right, on both sides, and an interior pass rush is coming as well. He gets happy feet, right? He wants to release the ball because he does not want to get hit. All right, this is a perfect example of how the 49ers generate pressure. And even if they're not generating pressure, which they do on this play, but even when they're not generating pressure, have Goff in the back of his mind instead of reading what the defense is doing, right, where the linebackers are, where the safety is, where the corners are, thinking, where's the defensive end, where's the defensive line, right? I got to release the ball sooner rather than later. And so we'll see this. This is a great pass rush coming from the interior. Here's Javon Kinlaw, who didn't get home, right, drops back, makes a really, really nice play, right, for the touchdown, right? Game-changing plays that are born, obviously, from very skilled players, but from that mentality of pass rush, pass rush, pass rush to help out your defensive backs and also to just get into the mind of the opposing quarterback. All right, so we're in the third quarter here, and this is a good example of Robert Saleh changing up his defensive schemes, changing up his coverage on the back end, and disguising it pretty well as well, okay? So at the start of the snap, or before the snap, you have one single back, but you have a tight end, two receivers left, one receiver right. Right, Richard Sherman's playing off, your other corner's closer but off, and two high safeties. Right, and you look at your two linebackers, they're lined up, look like they're going to blitz right now. All right, so let's play this. Goff sees it, changes his protection, walks his running back up to help protect the blitz here. Now this running back presumably was about to run a check down, right? Meaning either in the middle of the field, maybe a flare out here, right? But now he stepped up to help with the protection because you have the two backers blitzing A gap. Those linebackers bail out, right? They bail out, and this turns into a quarters coverage, right? Meaning this corner, this safety, this roughly, that safety has this. Richard Sherman, right, has this. Essentially, you're splitting it up, right? My outside backer would approximately have that. Inside backer would have here. This outside backer would have, again, this. Again, this is rough, very rough drawing. But nonetheless, you have four guys deep, right, following those deep routes, and most of these routes are going to be vertical. Also, because Jared Goff had his running back step up, these linebackers can drop as deep as they want or as deep as they need. Right, Richard Sherman can run with him, but he's got one receiver on his side, so he knows he has safety help, right? And Goff is expecting pressure, right? We have our defensive line twisting up front, okay, which is going to cause some havoc and going to eventually cause him to say, you know what, I have to get rid of this ball. And instead of getting rid of it to his running back somewhere underneath or somewhere outside, he has to just huck it downfield. Okay, so let's clear. And let's play the rest of this clip. All right, defensive line is getting there. Got a solid pass rush on the outside. Okay, Richard Sherman knows he has safety help. He passes this receiver off. This safety sees Goff's eyes, knows Goff is looking toward this side of the field. And again, Goff hucks up a Hail Mary more to the middle of the field. Safety's got leverage, right? No problem. It's a great way of disguising a blitz. Let's look at it again here. Right, showing double A gap blitz. Goff knows if this is coming, right, he needs an extra guy or he's going to get killed. Our linebackers bail out. Pass rush gets home, right, and Goff just needs to chuck it down the field. Basically a throwaway there. But a nice job by Robert Saleh of disguising his coverages, disguising a blitz, right, and running more than a conventional just cover three, like I said.
All right, so here we are looking at the Patriots-49ers game. This is from week 7 of last season. And this is more of an illustration of a couple of things. Number one, we're going to focus on Fred Warner, right, the middle linebacker, kind of a breakout star for the 49ers who was drafted in the 3rd round. Now, why does that matter? Rob Saleh is a really, really good defensive coach, right? But what he's done is he's taken, especially last season when the 49ers suffered a ton of injuries, he's taken guys who were drafted later on in the NFL draft and made them great football players. Now, Fred Warner was a 3rd-round pick, so it's not like he was a 7th-rounder, right? But getting value out of those mid-rounders is something that's really, really valuable for a franchise, something obviously Belichick has been able to do, and it's valuable, especially when you think about their roles on the defensive side of the ball, right? And Fred Warner, he's a good run stopper. He's 6'3", about 230. but he's also very, very athletic. Okay. So we're going to watch this play through. This is a pretty simple cover three, right? Our two corners on the outside. We'll drop out into their zones. Safety will drop back. And the Patriots are going to have a crosser, right? Jacoby Myers is going to come in this area, and a runoff guy, right? Running a deep route to try and draw this safety back so that they can hopefully dump it to this guy behind the linebackers. Now, this is great vision and great coverage by Fred Warner. So part of the reason I'm showing this is because part of Saleh's defense is really predicated on having great cover linebackers. Also, a pretty bad play by Cam Newton, right? I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's a bad throw. It's a bad read. Shouldn't have thrown the ball, but kind of illustrates Fred Warner's ability to cover in space and what Robert Saleh looks for in linebackers, right, when he's coaching them up. Right, so here's Warner, drops out. We have the crosser. Newton throws it, and it's an easy interception there. Not an easy interception, right? He had to go down for it, but we'll watch the other angle since this was at the middle of the field. Pretty easy to see. Again, bad read by Cam. But here's Fred Warner, right? Drops into his zone right in the middle here, right? Kind of hook curl here. Sees the crosser, runs with him, and makes a great play right on the ground. Right, so that illustrates, like I said, the type of linebackers, the type of athletes Saleh looks for, and then also the skill of a guy like Fred Warner, because who doesn't like to watch guys like this?